Alright, with the release of Blue Lock Chapter 281, we had Ego explain to us human evolution as well as give us the distinction between geniuses and talented learners. The explanation that Ego gives to us for geniuses goes as follows. Humans born with traits that others lack have a hard time being understood and live difficult lives, but that might be a gene that will cause humanity to evolve. Those areas of differentiation produce unique expressions of body and mind, and there are some people who can cast those expressions out into the world. And amidst them, there are some revolutionary expressions which are suitable for their era and circumstances, and these can change the world's standards. The ones with those seeds are what I call geniuses. Ego then goes on to explain what a talented learner is and how they are different from a genius. As Ego then says, but to present society that innovation is never something the genius can achieve on their own. Someone needs to discover the seed, comprehend its worth, and be able to communicate it to the world. By boosting its feasibility and reproducibility, they turn it into a new world standard. The ones who do that are called talented learners. Now, the part that actually prompted me making this video was the next page, where Ego is explaining how football has actually evolved, and he brings up that mutant geniuses with abnormal physical abilities and incredible plays become singularity points, and by analysing the geniuses and forming new tactics or using data to counter them, the talented learners develop plays using a new kind of logic. That is how football has evolved. Now this page got me thinking, which other players that we have seen would be classed as geniuses, whereas on the other side, which players have we seen would be classed as talented learners? Now a weird coincidence that I ended up finding while looking at these different players and seeing where they would fit was that every player that I know is confirmed with Metavision ended up being on the talented learner side, and none of the geniuses ended up having Metavision. Now whether this is a coincidence or this is intended by the author, that is yet to be seen, but I personally believe that any player that gets put on the genius side cannot have Metavision. Now this is not to say that these geniuses will never be able to have good vision or anything like that. I just don't think specifically they will be able to have Metavision. Metavision pretty much allows these players to see the field from a higher dimension and take in way more information than they normally would be able to. They are able to analyze the entire field as well as the players within that field to create new tactics and move preemptively. And if you haven't seen the connection yet, what Metavision is able to do is scarily similar to how Ego described talented learners and what they are able to do. And when I went back and looked at each Metavision user we have that is actually confirmed to have it, it has made it all the more true. The 8 characters that we have who are confirmed to have Metavision in this series are Asagi, Charles, Hiyori, Kaiser, Aiku, Nico, Reo, and Snuffy. There may be other people who have it, but we are solely going off of the people that are confirmed to have it within the series. Now, just to preface, I am not saying that every talented learner has Metavision. I am saying that everybody that has Metavision is a talented learner. Right off the bat, we can get rid of 3 out of 8 confirmed Metavision users off this list, since this page in chapter 281 is confirming both Reo and Charles are talented learners, and we already knew that Asagi was a talented learner, and all 3 of those characters have Metavision. So, starting with the first Metavision user we are going to talk about, we will start with Nico. As we already know, Nico would not fit into those that are genetically modified at all. I mean, the kid's like 5'8" and his physical stats are nothing to even look at. And his most outstanding quality since the first time we were introduced to him has always been his eyes and his ability to analyze his surroundings. Nico's entire gimmick has also always been the Watchtower, and we see this in the under-20s game, where it seems that Nico was unconsciously using Metavision to defend against Shido. And then we move to the Ubers game where we actually see Nico awaken Metavision for the first time while stopping Asagi. Overall, we can agree that with the evidence presented, Nico is obviously a Metavision user who is a talented learner. That is 4 out of 8 done. Moving on to the next person on this list, we are going to go through with Hiyori. Now Hiyori may end up being the most difficult one on this list along with Kaiser. Now the reason for this is because although Hiyori's entire thing has been about his insane passing, his insane vision and analysing everything around him, his backstory kind of puts this at dispute on whether he's a talented learner or a genius. Hiyori's dad was a national silver medalist in judo and his mom was ranked 2nd nationally in the running high jump, and because they both had regrets on not becoming first, they came together to create Hiyori so that he would be number 1. So in this respect, you may say that Hiyori is a genius, but I don't really think in terms of his genes, he has any anything really physically mutated the same as the other geniuses that we have. And considering who we know Hiyori to be, as well as his skills on the field and how he plays, it is a bit more convincing that he's a talented learner than he is a genius, because he kind of just doesn't fit genius, and talented learner works a bit better. Once again, just like the rest, he is someone that analyzes the entire field and all the other players to create new plays, as well as create new tactics and new logic. With all of that being considered, we can take number 5 out of 8 off the list. At number 6, we now have Aiku. Aiku might also be one of the easiest players on this list to explain as a talented learner. Aiku fits the definition perfectly. As we see in the under 20s, the way he defends is based on data. We see Aiku throughout the entire game doing a lot of analyzing on what he thinks players may do. And during the game, when he unconsciously awakened Metavision, we see he's analyzing everybody, and it is represented as data. How far he is from people represented in meters, the seconds he is from them. And as we have previously established, analyzing geniuses and using data to counter them is the characteristics of a talented learner. With Aiku out of the way, we can then move on to the 7th person, who is Kaiser, but I don't have too much to say to him because I kind of want to see how the series spins him being a talented learner over being a genius. Isagi, myself, as well as the rest of the Blue Lock fandom throughout the entire time we have known Kaiser have believed him to be a genius. He's got the fastest swing speed in the world, and that kind of just coincides with players like Baro, Nagi, etc. But with this newest chapter showing Kaiser being absolutely pissed at God for how unfair it is that these geniuses are so naturally strong, it seems just like Isagi, he is also a talented learner, and I kind of want to wait for how the series explains this. However, for now, Kaiser is confirmed a talented learner, and he is also somebody that has Metavision, so we can go ahead and move on. Snuffy is introduced to us as having a world-class brain, as well as having a clearer grasp of the field than Isagi, Kaiser, and even Noah. Snuffy is also described as a watchman, and he is the very definition of tactics and data and everything else that goes into the game. He is a character that can keep an eye on everything that is happening on the field while creating new tactics and coordinations on the fly. Out of all the players that we know are confirmed to be talented learners, and anybody else who may also be a talented learner, Snuffy seems to be the textbook definition of a talented learner. The way he uses his eyes, analyzes others, and uses data to beat these geniuses. And with that being true, Snuffy is the greatest Metavision user we have seen in this series thus far. I think the definition of Metavision, as well as the definition of talented learner, being so closely connected is just a little bit of a hint that anybody that has Metavision is a talented learner. I also think this could be the reason why characters like Rin don't have confirmation for Metavision, even though earlier in the series Rin had amazing spatial awareness. The geniuses in the series, such as Loki, Rin, Shido, Nagi, Baro, etc., they are the ones that make the incredible plays and become the singularity points, whereas these talented learners such as the Asagis, the Kaisers, Charles, Reo, they adapt and analyze these geniuses and use data to counter them. So yeah, that's my theory. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think it has a bit of credibility to it? Do you guys think we may get a new character introduced that has Metavision but is also considered to be a genius? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And with that, I'm out.